Hey guys, it's the Man from Moon here. After a long hiatus, Happy New Year. Um, I will be continuing the faction overview, um, and today we'll be going over Lothlorien. This is we're almost at the end. I believe we have 3 more faction after this. We have Mladris, Gondor, and Angmar, and that'll be it for all the factions. And it'll be fun. Okay, so let's load up our test map. I hope everyone had a happy new year. Sorry once again for taking a long break. Just life gets to you sometimes. So we have Lothlorien. Let's go over the spellbook powers first. So for the tier 1 powers, we got Horn of Noldor. This is just like any rallying call. 50% damage and 20% C for 20 seconds. They get a debuff, but it does not nullify anything. That reduces enemy damage by 50% for 15 seconds. They got this cool ability called Wind Breeze of Manwë. It just summons like a gust of wind and it'll knock units over. I don't think it really does much, if any, damage. And for tier 2, we got Mystical Stream. So just like in a kind of a medium-sized area, you paralyze enemy units for 5 seconds. They become immune to knockback and they can't be trampled. It gives the Lothlorien. This unlocks specific or special powers on a hero. I think when we have it over there, it'll tell us what. Lothlorien gets this unique ability for a tier 2 power. Your spellbook, the spellbook powers regenerate 25% faster. So that's very strong. We got Aerostorm. This is just the vanilla Air Volley. For our tier 3 powers, we got this weather ability, Elbreth Gilthorniel. So for 30 seconds, cancels other weather effects. And allied units gain 15% speed and resistance to fear and terror. And then also, uniquely enough, buff structures. They gain 25% armor. We got our first stage power that allows us to recruit Sylvan Elves and other elves from Beleriand. I'll go over that later. We got Watchers of the Forest. So if you don't have first stage, it summons temporarily summons Tariel and some Mirkwood archers. And then if you have first stage, it summons Orifer and 3 battalions of Sylvan archers, which are the elite first stage archers. And then we got our tier 4 powers, Noldor of the Undying Lands. This is a very powerful summon. Summons the King of the Noldor Finarfin and some very strong elite Noldor elves from Tyrion. And then you got Tears of the Valor. This is a powerful AoE ability. It can like a water-based ability, kind of stronger than Flood at killing units. And it also knocks units and heroes around too, so that's really good. So I'll just show some of it off real quick, I guess. Yep. And it lasts. This lasts for, well, that was like, what, 10 seconds? That's pretty good. You'll definitely kill any army. You could combine it with the Paralyzed too, I should have mentioned. And then you could definitely keep them trapped there. And then we got the Arrow Volley, of course. That's our weather effect. And the Breath of Manwë. We got Tariel and these Mirkwood archers.
Precious and pure.
And then we'll summon this when we go over the. We'll use this. Well, I'll do this when we go over the first stage stuff. And then here's the gifts that you can give. So for Galadriel, this is without the Silmaril. She gets a necklace and she recharges her abilities faster. Celeborn receives a blade, or his silver blade, and that gives him a permanent buff of double damage. Haldir receives a white arrow, which is better than his golden arrow, and it stuns units in a much wider radius. Roman Orphan, they get an armor buff. Thranduil greatly gets a he gains a significant increase to his attack range, and his vision. Legolas receives an upgraded bow, and his Hawkstrike and Arrowwind abilities get improved, and then Tariel acts like a well. Now let's go over the buildings. The unique thing about Lothlorien is most of your buildings are built from the power on the fortress called Seeds of the Golden Forest. Whereas the builder only builds your economy building, which is the Malorn tree.
Building supplies coming. We're finished with this.
So the Malorn tree is kind of a unique resource building that units that are actually infantry and cavalry units near the Malorn tree actually gain 50% armor. But this unique unit called the Beauregards gets 75% armor.
Ready your tools.
Then the builder can also build the Blessed Statue. This is just like any other statue, 25% armor damage, and then it reduces the cost of archers by 4%. And then you get this thing called the Outer Fleet, which is just the Lothlorien tower. It can be upgraded with Silverthorn arrows, and it also has a long shot ability.
There is work to be done.
Yep, and then this second to last building is actually the Mirkwood Palace. This gives us access to the Mirkwood units. We unlock it by buying this upgrade from the fortress. This is also at the inn, but you'll probably 99.9% of the time get it from the fortress. So we build the Mirkwood Palace.
There is much to do. The fortress, it's ready.
So now the palace by itself generates resources. You can recruit Thranduil and Tariel from it. In order to unlock the units, you need some upgrades, which you can get by building the expansions. So the first expansion is the Wine Cellar. This reduces the cost of Mirkwood heroes specifically. So Thranduil, Tariel, and Legolas, which is unlocked at a different building. And also the Wine Cellar generates resources each of these building expansions generate resources, except that this one doesn't. Yeah, this I forget actually. It's been a while. Anyway, the Wine Cellar generates the most resources out of these extra build plots. And then we have the Troop Chamber expansion. This reduces the cost of all these Mirkwood units here, except these guys. And that's how you unlock them. You need 2 to get 20% discount, 3 to get a 40% discount. And then lastly, you got the Vault of the King expansion. This unlocks special upgrades, and then you need it so you can actually unlock the Palace Guards, which are your elite pikeman unit. Let's go over some other buildings. We'll go over the fortress expansions real quick. Arrow Tower expansion, self-explanatory.
City grows larger.
Ent expansion, self-explanatory. This is just like the ranged siege expansion. And then this, the Sacred Tree. This is a well, and it can be upgraded. So this just puts out fire, like the builders do.
There is work to be done.
Okay, it's not on the builders for most factions. And then you can upgrade these trees with the mist. The mist disguises allies. The band protection. This weakens enemies. And then if you have Galadriel, the Dark Queen, so she accepts the Silmaril, you get a special upgrade. So with the fortress ability Seeds of the Golden Forest, we summon a build plot, and we can unlock other buildings. So we still have the Sacred Tree, but you can place it elsewhere. It functions, it's just a little bit bigger, but it functions pretty much the same as this building. Yep, and like I said, it's a well. Then we have the Lothlorien barracks.
We have built a
So
new
this
barracks.
grants access to
The barracks.
kind of like the basic standard Lothlorien units, and also you can get a hero, Idril. She's not really a hero, she's like a hero unit because she doesn't keep her level when she dies. And then the next building is the Golden Wood Garrison. So this trains much like regular and advanced infantry of Lothlorien. I'll say you get access to the heroic unit.
Barracks have been completed.
So these units, by and large, are all stronger than the units in here. Although these Galathrim are also very strong.
The building is now finished.
Okay, and then we got the Mirkwood Barracks. This is kind of a special barracks that gives us access to elite units and these guys, the wine dressers. And this is also where we can purchase Legolas. We can also buy the Mirkwood Cloak upgrade, which allows Mirkwood units to get a special upgrade that allows them to go cloaked.
The new upgrade is ready.
The next building is the Sanctuary. This is just our armory.
We've improved.
We get banner carriers, forged blades, longbows, and malorn bows. This gives different upgrades depending on which units you actually go for. So another thing is these units, they have like higher base stats, and they get different bonuses from this upgrade, and they do not get Silverthorn arrows, but they can get heavy armor, which these units cannot. So we got all these upgrades.
We can use the Silverthorn arrows now. We have the new armor.
And then
the new upgrade is ready. We have the forged blades.
our last building is the Entmoot. This allows us to build Ents, and allows us to recruit Treebeard and Quickbee. Now let's go over the... I guess we'll go over the units since there are a lot of units. We'll start here at your base, or your basic barracks, I guess. Got Lothlorien warriors.
We bring swords from Lorien.
Ooh.
Weapons
Okay.
ready, elves.
Just your kind of your basic swordsmen. They can get up forged blades and banner carriers. Unique thing about Lothlorien, the Lothlorien units from this barracks is they get
Watch for the enemy.
a Limbo Spread at level 2, which allows them to regen some health. I don't think it regenerates units in the battalion though.
We offer bows from Lorien.
Got Lothlorien archers. You get longbows, Silverthorn arrows, and banner carriers.
The wind.
You got lancers or
We bring
spearmen,
swords from Lorien. Get it quick.
kind of like the swordsmen. They get forged blades and banner carriers. We get these units, the singers. So they're kind of a
Elven grace is upon you. We must go.
complex unit. So by default, they provide nearby infantry units with 10% armor, resistance to fear and terror. And then they have some abilities. They begin singing. You get a couple of them.
Our time grows short.
So for the first ability, it only requires one. So they don't move, but all allies in a medium radius, so this affects heroes too, are actively healed for 25 seconds.
We must not let go of hope.
Next ability is the Lamentation. So she also begins singing, and she cannot move. So nearby enemy infantry and cavalry units lose 25% armor and damage. And then if two singers are next to each other and then one performs it, so the enemy units, this includes all enemy units, so I guess monsters too, they become paralyzed.
Our homes must be
Let me
defended.
move one
I'm
over.
here for you. Onward. Come along.
Weapons ready, elves.
Our time grows short. grace is upon you. Onward. I do not fear death.
Alright. Alright, so for the final song, so you need 2 singers that are next to each other. And then, depending if you can have more singers, the more you have, the more bonuses you'll get. So for just the base effect, is nearby allied infantry and cavalry gain experience 300% faster, recharge their abilities 50% faster, and they gain invulnerability to magic damage. If you have, well, I guess 3 singers, you get an additional 33% armor, damage, speed, and resistance to fear and terror. And then if you have a 4th singer, you gain invulnerability to all damage. And you get the very cool Hymn of Galadriel song, which plays in the Fellowship.
We must protect the woods.
Alright, next we got the unique unit, the Lothlorien Bodyguard. So
We bring swords from Lorien.
these guys are swordsmen, but they're good against cav. So basically, if they're trampled, they will deal revenge damage like a pikeman would, or a spearman. And then in melee, they perform like swordsmen, so they're actually like good against buildings and pretty good against other pikemen. They have unique ability, so for 20 seconds they gain knockback resistance and they can't be trampled. And then they get forge blades, banner carriers, and they get the Lembas spread bonus. And then from the barracks level 3, we get the Lothlorien Galathrim. So there are a lot of archers in this faction. I think there's like 6 different archers. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 6. Okay, so there's actually like 7 because we haven't gotten the first stage yet. These guys, besides the first stage archers, deal probably the most damage, I believe. And they get the Silverthorn upgrade, so that's why they deal the most damage, or at least out of the non-elite archers. I believe these archers and the first stage archers, they definitely deal more damage. But you do get 10 of these guys, and the other ones you only get 5. So it scales more with like leaderships. So yep, they can receive Silverthorn arrows, banner carriers, longbows. They can also get forge blades. They have the Lembas spread ability, and they already come with heavy armor, so they're already stronger than like all these guys by a wide margin. Okay, and now we go to the next barracks, the Goldenwood units. So these guys have higher base stats, and they can get heavy armor.
We travel from Lorien.
So the spearmen, there's 15 in a battalion. They have higher health, 700 base health, and then we give them the, when they reach max level, they have 800. How much do these guys have?
Keep your wits sharp.
They have 650. Yeah.
Settle.
And they, so their unique ability when they're level 2 is they get the cloak ability, so they can go invisible. So they can get heavy armor, like I said. They can go into
Spears out.
a porcupine formation, where they gain 100% armor, and trampling as enemies will be stopped immediately. We have the Goldenwood archers. These guys deal more damage than these guys and have better stats. They get a bombard and the cloak, like I said, and they also get the heavy armor, Malorn bows. So Malorn bows for the Goldenwood units functions kind of like Silverthorn or the functions mostly just like Silverthorn arrows. It's just a damage buff. And they get banner carrier. A cool thing about the Golden units is they actually have combo hordes, so you can actually combine the archers with the pikemen. And then we get the Sentinels of Karen Amroth. These are our strong tier 2 pikemen. They get a spear wall formation, so a porcupine formation.
Don't draw attention. Back together.
They get standard upgrades. And then we got the March Wardens. So these guys, for 3rd age archers, are your furthest shooting archers. And they can get
Get your bows ready.
They have the bombard, and just like the Galathrim, they can get a bow upgrade and forge blades upgrade.
Ready your bows.
And kind of a cool thing is you can actually just combo them. You can make a combo horde with itself, so you can have 4 or 4 rows, and then you get access to the heroic unit, the Nandor Hirhathal. So these are your heroic units. Your other heroic units actually lock behind the inn, which I do not have access to. So they get 2 weapons. They have the axe, but by default they come with the sword. The sword's good against infantry and heroes. The axes are good against buildings, monsters, and siege units. At level 4, they gain immunity, knockback resistance, and 10% movement speed. And then at level 7, they can grant forge blades, heavy armor, mountain bows to units within radius. So that's pretty good. At the Mirkwood barracks, you can recruit the wine dresser. This is a cool unit. So they can actually level up a Malorn tree with this ability. You can get 3 of these guys. So you can use these guys to put a Malorn tree to max level right away. Or it upgrades it like halfway, but if you use all 3 of them on a Malorn tree, you'll get to max level. And then you actually get the sowing ability. It's basically the same as the Seeds of the Golden Forest ability, where you can just build a build plot near them, so you can move with these guys across the map and set up like forward buildings. Like you can build any of the other buildings. So usually what people do is they'll just build the tree because it acts as a well and it acts as like a barrier, since you can upgrade it with the mist or the band of protection.
Now is our time.
And then for units, we get the Mirkwood Guardians of the Path. These are your strongest 3rd aid archers, and they're even good into 1st stage. They get the bombard, they get the cloak if you buy it from the barracks, and then they also get this ability called Thorn Arrows from the Dark Forest. So they actually deal 25% more damage, and they deal knockback against infantry. And then your other heroic unit, I forgot to mention, I forgot about this, is the Ghost Guardians. So this is a 4-row battalion of the Mirkwood Guards, of the Palace Guards, but they're a little bit better. They actually deal heroic damage, which is why they're a heroic unit. And they also gain this ability level 3 where they gain immunity, passive ability where they gain immunity and knockback. So this unit is very expensive and costs a lot of, because has a lot of command points, requires a lot of command points. But you can kind of just like sit this near archers, and you just, for 1 battalion, you just have 4 rows of elite pikemen, or heroic pikemen, to guard your archers. And they're good against heroes too if you surround them. And then we'll go to the Mirkwood Palace. Oh. And you get to this building. So for this building, you get 3. You can buy 3 upgrades. To get the Palace Guard, you need to buy this Captain on the Watch, and also it summons units over here, and then enemy or allies near that unit gain 25% armor. At this guy, yeah, this is pretty useless in my opinion. And then protect the borders. This is also pretty useless. It just like puts archers on the building up here, I think. But this ability is actually like decent. This is basically a call the horde for the Mirkwood units. And now back to the units. We got Mirkwood Warriors. These are swordsmen. So the way it kind of goes is these are like your weakest and most. These are your weakest units. Then it's actually these guys. These guys would be like your second, or the, I guess the tier above these units, and then at least for the melee units. And then the melee units here are for the most part better than these units.
We bring spears from Mithlund. Stay ready.
So for the swordsmen, the unique thing about Mirkwood units is they can get the cloak, and then they get like the standard upgrades: forward blades, banner carriers. These guys do get a spear wall for, or a porcupine formation. Then you got the Mirkwood archers. These archers are actually very good. They're definitely worth getting. By default, the arrows cause enemy infantry, cavalry, and monsters to lose 40% speed for 5 seconds. And then they can get longbows, silver arrows, and banner carriers. One thing to note is that these units actually shoot faster than the archers from this barracks and the archers from this barracks. They just don't deal as much damage. Unless you upgrade them. And then they're really a force to be reckoned with. But you do gotta get a lot though, and that is kind of a lot of money. And then we got the access to the only cavalry this faction has in 3rd Age. The Elk Riders. They're mounted archers though, so they're not really good for trampling, but they're like the best ranged cav since they have the better weapon. And they can get the cloak. And then we get our elite Mirkwood guards. They have the same this and the Ghost Guardians have the same passive. If one of them is trampled or knocked over, all the other palace guards in the battalion, and actually just nearby, gain 50% armor, 50% damage, and they also slow down any trampling enemy by 50% for 30 seconds. So it's very strong. They get forge blades and banner carriers, and they also get porcupine formation. And then we got go to the Ents. So there's 2 Ents. We got the regular Ent, which is the same as vanilla. They can go switch between. They actually they take a while to spawn for some reason. Okay, so this is and they move slow too, but it's just like the Ents from vanilla. They can switch between melee and range, and they can throw rocks. And then the Ash Ent, they're basically melee Ents. Their Ents can only go into melee, and then they get a Stomp ability, which is it's whatever. Stomp is not really that good of an ability. All right. Oh, I forgot to go over the fortress upgrades real quick, so we'll do that. So Lances of Lothlorien. This is a very strong ability. This fortress does not get any kind of armor upgrade. This will just stun any enemy units. It basically stuns anything but heroes for like 8 seconds, I think, every like 15 seconds or something. Some interval. So this is very strong for a 1,000 cost upgrade. And then we got the Silverthorn munitions that upgrades the archers if you have them. Got the Protective Band. This unlocks an ability which makes all nearby buildings invulnerable. We get the Galadriel's Mirror. This greatly improves the vision of the fortress. It also unlocks a well. This is a well, and it also unlocks this power, a look in the mirror. So you can permanently give a hero 25% you can probably give a hero a bonus of 25% faster abilities, or 25% damage and 10% armor. And this is the ability Ward of Chaos Galathon. It's locked by Ward of Chaos Galathon. So all the buildings and the fortress are just invulnerable for a little bit. Alright, now let's get to the heroes. There's actually a lot of heroes in this faction.
We come to honor that allegiance.
Safe. Wood elves and Mirkwood are not like that.
The king has never let Oakfield roam our lands.
I am free. I am no tree.
Gracious.
The world has changed.
Okay.
I feel it.
Let's start with Idril. She's not really a
I feel it in the
hero
air.
in that she doesn't keep her level.
I smell it in the
Swiftly.
Okay.
We must stand against the shadow.
Who's trying to hit someone?
Okay.
By the will of
So Idril, Kind of a weak hero. I think she only costs what, like 1,000? No, she costs like 1,200, I believe. She gets a strike ability that deals knockback. It's okay. She gets kind of an Atlas ability, level 3, and then the units also become immune to fear and terror. Her best ability, though, is this ability, level 7. She summons a tree.
The lady sent her regards.
And then the tree stealths allied units, and then nearby enemy units lose 25% armor, or 25% damage and 20% armor. It also actually nullifies leadership. Yeah. And then at level 10, all her powers get a 25% cooldown.
I've been worth.
But yeah, she's very weak. She only's got, even at level 10, she only has like 5k health, and she doesn't have that good armor. So, so the next hero we'll go over is Orphan and Rumel. So, Orphan is the melee. Let me preface this by saying, so when you buy them from the fortress, you get both. So for 500, you get 2 scout heroes. So they're very good. Lothlorien has the best scout, like, starting hero lineup, because you get these 2, and they can take down a troll lair by themselves. So basically this passive ability here is they share the same XP experience. So if one levels up, the other levels up, and vice versa. So Orphan is a melee hero. He gets this kind of the single strike ability where a target takes a lot of damage. They both get the same ability at level 3 where they heal themselves for a bit of health. At level 5 they kind of get a similar style ability. So for Orphan, he gains 50% damage, and then he also knocks back enemy infantry. For Rumel, it's like the same thing. He gains 50% damage, and his arrow knocks back enemy infantry. Oh, and his level 1 is just shoots a powerful arrow. And then this here requires gifts of Lothlorien. They gain an armor upgrade, but they lose speed.
We must rid ourselves of Sauron's servants.
By the will of Nenya.
The next hero we'll go over is Haldir. So he comes out with his sword equipped. His sword deals splash damage, I believe, at level 2. And he can switch between bow and sword. At level 2, he can make units stealthed. Well, he has the bow equipped. He gets the golden arrow. This is like the same as vanilla. You shoot it, and then I believe it's just evil units are stunned. If you upgrade him, though, with Gifts of Lothlorien, he gets the white arrow. This does more damage than the golden arrow, and it stuns all units in a wider radius. At level 6, he gains an armor upgrade, and an allied infantry near Haldir deal 50% more damage. And then at level 8, he summons a group of uncontrollable border guards. They're just going to guard the area. You can't control them, but then they'll attack enemies. And I think they're permanently stealthed. I'm actually not sure. Yeah.
We must bring justice to the enemy.
The next hero we'll go over is Legolas. So Legolas is really, really cool in this version. He's got 2 Palanters. On the first Palantir, so it's the Palantir switch, he gets the knife fighter ability, so he switches to his knives. He deals splash damage, he gains armor and speed. He also gets the Hawk Strike, same as vanilla, shoots 2 arrows and they deal like a little bit of splash damage. You can upgrade it with the Gifts of Lothlorien and makes it even better. He gains Elven Eye, he increases his range and vision. Can't use it if he has Knife Fighter active. And then Arrow Wind, this is just arrow volley.
Let's move on.
And then on his second Palantir, he gets a Grant XP, but this only works on archers. And I mean, like, specifically only archers, not the hybrid archers like the Galathrim or the March Wardens. Specifically archers. This works on your first stage archers too. At level 4, he actually gains a leadership. This, again, also only affects archers. They gain 50% damage, 20% vision, 20% range and resistance to fear and terror. It does not affect your elite archers. It does not affect these guys and your first stage Sylvan archers. Level 6, he gets this pretty cool ability where he summons Gimli, and Gimli will, like, charge in. And I believe it does splash damage, and he knocks back anyone he runs into. And then at level 10, or level 7 actually, he summons a bunch of archers around him. I don't think you can control these guys. Nope. It's kind of like Haldir's. So you summon these guys, and then they'll attack nearby enemies.
I am over here.
But it matters not.
Next hero we'll go over is
Tariel.
Tariel.
Has been dropped.
So, at level 1, she has a leadership over Mirkwood archers, specifically these guys. Where are they? These guys. These Mirkwood archers. They gain 25% range and 25% vision, so they can shoot further. At level 3, it's like the same bonus as Legacy. She switches to her daggers, gains armor, and deals splash damage. Level 5, she gains an armor upgrade. At level 7, she jumps at an enemy hero, and then the hero is like weakened for 10 seconds. They lose 25% armor and speed. And then at level 10, okay. So you activate it, and then she buffs allied heroes for 60 seconds to gain 10% speed and 25% damage.
What then?
Next hero we'll go over is Thranduil. So in this version, Thranduil is a hybrid hero, kind of like in vanilla. It's unique to this version. He's a hybrid hero, and he gains different abilities depending on which weapon he's using. So if he's using his sword, he has this ability called Light in the Darkness. So you can mark a building, an allied building, and then evil units that go near that building are like, I think they're stunned, and it lasts for 3 minutes, so that can be useful in some situations. At level 5, he gains a very strong ability where his sword will actually stun any enemy he attacks. And then at level 8, he gets his Feast of Mirkwood, Spell of Mirkwood. So this summons a forest. The units inside are invisible, and it also heals all allies. And then level 10, he gains an army summon.
Some may imagine that a noble quest is at hand.
Weapons.
Yep.
Be alert, sentries. Line it up.
It's supposed to be like a variety of units. I'll use it one more time. Well, that's just all spearmen.
Elves of Mithlond. We must protect Middle-earth. Stay close. Stay on guard. We must protect Middle-earth. Stay ready. Stay on guard.
It was a little bit different this time. Sometimes you get archers too. You get like the vanilla Mirkwood archers. And then
A shadow that grows in the dark.
so when he's in his bow, he can shoot while stealthed. This is pretty strong. Level 3, he gains an army buff. This specifically for Mirkwood units. Gives them 25% damage, range, vision, and speed. And then level 7, he gets Deadeye, so he switches to a more powerful bow, and the bow deals more damage. And then he gains his Thorn of Vengeance, so it fires a very powerful shot. And then if it deals knockback, it deals splash damage, and if it's used on a hero, the hero is stunned for 12 seconds, so they can't move. It's a very powerful pin. The next hero we'll go over is actually Grimbjorn.
Are crawling with orcs. Go now while you have the light.
So he is a Bjorning, so he can actually switch and turn into a bear. But we'll go over his human form abilities first. You get some unique ones, so I'm thinking. Yeah, so these first two abilities, he keeps in both forms, I believe, but this is unique. This one's unique to his human form. So he gets a battle cry, it makes units flee in terror. He can summon bees, and then the bees travel around and like damage units. I don't think they do much damage, but I guess it's kind of cool. This is an Athelas ability. And then his level 10. Oh, actually, we'll switch abilities first. Or we'll switch forms. So yeah. Yep, he keeps the bees and the battle cry, and then he gets his deadly bite ability. Okay, so you target an enemy, and then it deals high damage and knocks him back. And then this level 10, he gets in both forms. He gains 100% armor, triple damage. He can increase crusher level, so he can like walk through units. 100% crush acceleration, so he won't slow down at all while he's crushing units, and he gains immunity to pierce damage, which is arrows, for 35 seconds, and then it can't be nullified. So, pretty strong. Now we'll go over Celeborn. Celeborn has 2 Palantirs in this version. So at level 1, he has this ability, this leadership. Nearby allied infantry and cavalry gain 50% armor, 20% damage. Level 3, he gains. This is like a wizard blast, but different. It does significantly less damage, but all enemies, so this works on heroes too, that are struck by the light lose 50% speed and 90% vision. At level 6, he gains this kind of a Blade Master ability, Silver Blade. He gains 100% armor and deals double damage. And then level 10, he gains this really cool ability where he summons a tornado around him. And then on his next Palantir, this ability is twofold, so this is another leadership. Nearby allied infantry and cavalry gain additional 30% armor. And then the active ability, he actually summons the Elven Grove. Allied units in the forest gain 40% armor resistance to fear and terror. At level 4, he can grant XP to allied units. At level 8, this is a heal and it also does damage. And then at level 9, he gains a permanent 50% armor, 100,000 health, and immunity to magic, flame, poison, frost, and frost damage. Yeah. So basically elemental damage. He's just immune to it. And then if you give him the Gift to Lothlorien, he just has the blade permanently, so he deals double damage permanently. It's 1200 base damage.
Strange creatures bearing the mark of the white hand.
I'll go over Radagast. So for his passive ability, he makes units as long as they're standing, or allies, as long as they're standing still, they'll be stealthed. So in a level 1, he has his Brambles ability. He summons a brush, lasts for 12 seconds. It damages enemies and it slows them down. He gets a Palantir switch. Level 7, he gains this insane ability. This turns any enemy, any infantry or cavalry, into animals. So if you see a fully upgraded Imladris army or Dwarven army within a certain radius, they'll all just be instantly converted to animals. His level 8, kind of a cool ability. So he spawns a forest, and then the forest debuffs enemy structures, or disables them, and then buffs your structures. On his next Palantir, he summons... You can summon a bird, and the bird scouts. Crows. Okay, you get crows, and then you can send them on a job. They can like go mark a target. If this one needs Radagast in the facility, I'll target some of it. Oh, okay, so these have to go scout, and then you activate this ability, and then the targets are marked for a long time. That's kind of a flavorful ability, I guess, but not very practical. This ability... Oh, it sends birds to... They fly, and they scout, and then they return back to Radagast. Kind of similar, but like easier to use. This ability is actually somewhat useful. He summons animals to protect him. Sometimes you get bears, this time you get wolves. He can ride on an eagle. I'll show that in a sec. Then this last ability, he actually just summons you. Oh, you gotta be in your enemy units. Just send them over there real quick.
Do not let the great emptiness of Khazad-dûm fill your heart.
Many of these trees were my friends.
I actually do want to show this Radagast ability. That's why I'm actually coming over here to see it. I'll show this ability too, so you can kind of see. Yep. Turn into animals. And then this ability is just kind of, he summons eagles and they like drop down and deal splash damage. Yeah. Interesting level 10. And then believe that's it for Radagast. Now we shall go over Galadriel, who was our faction hero. At level 1, she gets this ability where she makes enemy fortresses visible. At level 2, she unlocks her leadership. Nearby infantry, allied infantry and cavalry units gain 25% armor, 25% damage, and resistance to fear and terror. At level 4, she gets a Palantir switch. At level 7, she gains the Ring of Nenya, or the Ring of Water. So she creates a Field of Mist. The Mist disguises and heals allies within it, and then debuffs enemy units. At level 10, she can actually toggle into the Dark Queen. During this time, she has 300% armor, and she uses like really strong magical attacks. I'm actually gonna put her. I'm gonna send her over here.
Much that once was
To show it.
is lost.
Okay. So on the other Palantir at level 5, she gains this ability called Gates of Galadriel. So she causes enemy infantry, cavalry, and monsters to cower in fear for 10 seconds. So basically that's a 10-second stun. At level 6, she gets the Light of Erendil. So she creates a small area around her that only affects her for 3 minutes. And while she's in the highlight area, she gains 400% armor. And her abilities, if they're cast while in this area, recharge 50% faster. At level 8, she gains Light of the Noldor. This is like a target, like a ranged attack. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. That should probably get buffed. And these are like basic units, and she's level 20. Should do a little more. And then this ability is invulnerability, similar to Thorin's ability. And then her level 10, we'll go over.
Dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn.
Yep, so she toggles in the dark light. I think this lasts like 20-30 seconds. She has no other abilities, so she's locked in this form kind of. And then she can toggle her fear ability.
Go now and rest. You are weary with sorrow and much toil. In all lands now.
Let's see how much damage she does to
Mingled with grief.
okay. Yep.
Beware the necromancer.
I believe this is like the same ability. It's very similar to that. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, now we'll go over Treebeard and Quickbeam. They aren't like really heroes, but since they are just kind of units that come out level 10. But anyway, Treebeard and Quickbeam, they can both switch between melee and ranged. For Treebeard, he has a leadership, so nearby allied ents, both the Ash or the melee Ash and regular ent, they gain 25% armor, damage, range, and experience gain. This ability, this is kind of buggy. This doesn't always work. You target an ent, and then Treebeard unlocks a new ability. So this is a buff. It does not say exactly what it does though. And then activate it again. There. Hardened bark. So he now has increased defense against fire, frost, and magic damage. So I assume that means he just becomes invulnerable to them. Okay. That's Treebeard. I don't think he gets any others after that. Oh, he does. Okay. So he summons even more Ents. So we lose the... What ability did we lose? Oh, no. We replace the ability. Okay, cool. So he actually gets the ability kind of like from vanilla. From the vanilla elves. Cool. And then he buffs them all. So, next hero... Quick Beam. So, Bregalad's Anger. He goes... In Berserk, he becomes 30% faster, strikes faster, causes more damage. And then whenever he activates it, he gets a new ability. Oh, he needs to activate it when units are nearby. So he needs to send them over here. And I think I will unlock the first stage power during this time, since we're almost ready. And we shall summon the Menegroth Fortress.
Build up this land.
Alright, so Quick Beam. So his ability is similar to Treebeard's. You use it on enemies though instead, and you unlock more abilities. Okay. And then will it work the same way? No, okay. So that also fears units temporarily. And then for this, this is a call the horde for all the Ents at the Entmoot. And it even affects Treebeard. And then this... These units fall asleep. So I think this affects all units. Oh no, okay, this affects units in the target area. So it's kind of like the stream, but they become immortal. And they can't attack. So for this ability last March... So Quick Beam and the Ents gain immunity to fire. They gain 100% armor, 50% speed, 50% damage, and they can trample. Cool. Alright. Let's get on to the first stage. This is the Menegroth Fortress. It gains upgrades and units for each level. So for the upgrades that you unlock, you reduce the cost of unit upgrades by 20%. Kind of useless at this stage because you'll only be building these units and they don't get upgrades. And then you get the mist. Nearby allies become camouflaged. You get the crystal moat. So this affects nearby structures and their armor is increased by 100%. Mystic fountains. This provides healing. And units at this, or heroes at this fortress heal faster, and then encasing vines. This increases the armor of the fortress. So we got 4 units. At level 1, we can get the Menegroth Guard, which is our first stage elite pikeman.
We come from Mirkwood. We come from Mirkwood. We come from Mirkwood. Guard this area. Scout the area.
This is kind of like the bread and butter for all the first stage good elite pikemen. They get a spear wall formation, armor rupture, which is they debuff Cav, and they get an armor upgrade. Next we get the Sylvan Archers, which is our this is the best archer or second best archer in the game, depending on or with differing opinions. So at level 2 they gain into leadership, nearby units gain vision, not that good. They gain armor upgrade level 5, level 8 they gain kind of a they gain a self buff where they gain 20% damage and 120% range for 20 seconds. These guys deal a tremendous amount of damage, and they have the furthest. They shoot the furthest out of any archer in the game. They're limited to 6. You have a whole bunch of ranged heroes with leaderships. These guys will These guys fucking put in work.
Guard this area.
Excuse my language.
Scout the area.
Yeah, but these guys, like, no joke though, these guys are truly a remarkably strong unit. And then you get the Menegroth Scouts. These are kind of like special swordsmen. I believe they're stealth by default. Actually, not sure.
Move.
They are stealth by default. Okay. And then they get a circle formation. They gain 40% speed, but they lose damage, so that's actually pretty good. Because they can just, like, hunt people down. It doesn't even matter that the damage is nerfed, because they can just circle around them, and they'll never be able to get away.
Move your position.
They get the cloak.
Advance.
I don't think you need the Mirkwood upgrade. I think they just get it by default, so that description might be wrong. They get an armor upgrade, and then they can mark a building for 60 seconds, and it's just revealed. Kind of a cool ability, I guess. The next unit that from the first stage is the Menegroth Cav. This is actually like your only like real cavalry unit. So they get a skirmish formation plus 25% damage and speed, but minus 25% armor, and then at level 5 they get an armor upgrade. This cow is actually very good. They're very fast and they deal good damage. Very good. Actually worth getting if you actually want to go cav against a faction that that's not really going pikes and has like exposed archers and swordsmen. Now let's get to the heroes. We're out of hero slots. I think this faction has like the most heroes in the game. It's also one of 2 factions that actually has 4 first stage heroes. The other one is Angmar. Oh, and actually Gondor has 4 too. Yeah, those are the only factions with 4. So, Beleg, he is an archer hero. He does a lot of damage. He does 275 by default. Is he in aggressive stance? Okay, he is. So he does 250? Yeah, 250.
We will help you fight this war.
Let me just build these guys real quick.
We must protect the woods.
Victory will be ours in moments.
Okay. So Beleg, level 2, this is Athelas. He heals himself and nearby allied heroes. It's on a very low cooldown. At level 3, he becomes invisible while standing still. But I think he's stealth most of the time.
Do my best.
Actually, I don't think that's true. Yeah. He gains a cloak at level 3. This is whatever. At level 5, this is like Haldir's. He makes units invisible. At level 7, this is the same as Thranduil's Deadeye. He just becomes... I think it's even the same weapon. He just does more damage. And then at level 9, I think it's also like the same, or if not similar to Thranduil's. It's just a powerful arrow, and if it hits a hero, it stuns him. Next hero is Mabla. So he has a leadership at level 1. Nearby allied infantry and cavalry units gain 10% speed and immunity to fear and terror. At level 3, he grants experience to allied units. At level 5, he can mount a horse. I think he's one of 2 heroes that can do that in this faction. At level 7, he can strengthen a battalion, and it grants them 200% or 200 health and resistance to fear and terror. And it's a permanent buff as long as the unit is alive. At level 10, he gains a Blade Master, where he gains 50% armor and deals double damage. The next hero we'll go over is Thingol. So he is more of a support-ish kind of hero. Support. So level 1, he grants nearby allied infantry and cavalry at 25% armor, damage, and 50% additional armor against crush damage, so they can't be like trampled as easily. At level 3, he summons a forest. This is really similar to Thranduil's as well. The units are just invisible and they're healed. At level 6, he gains this pretty powerful ability. So this heals all heroes, all your heroes, all allied heroes on the battlefield, or so wherever they are. And then if they're near this light, they deal double damage. I think this affects him too, yeah. So all heroes, including Thingol. when they're near the light, deal double damage, and then allied units near the light deal 50% more damage. At level 8, Thingol gains resistance to magic and poison damage. That's okay. And then at level 10, he actually gets a Word of Power, but he also gains a passive ability where his sword will actually paralyze any enemy he attacks. So we'll send him over there, and then we'll get to our last hero here.
I go. Onward.
And then we'll go over
I go.
We'll actually go over the spellbook, the last spellbook power real quick. Since we're in the first stage now.
Several armies shatters the last, of course.
So that's pretty cool word of power for
Conflict.
a good faction leader.
Order.
Or for a good faction hero.
We have all but lost.
And now we're at Thingol.
Onward.
So Thingol provides 50% armor against water damage and 50% resistance to flame, poison, and frost damage. So basically grants a lot of resistance to the elements. He can mount a horse at level 1. At level 5 he gains paralyzed structure. Deactivates selected structure, opens the gates, and the structure also loses armor. At level 8, he gains resistance to poison and magic damage and invulnerability to water damage. And he also provides a hero discount bonus to all heroes. And then at level 10, he gains this horn ability, so allied units gain 75% damage, 33% seed immunity to knockback. And it's got a cool effects.
The enemy's numbers have increased.
Okay.
Where are you going?
We'll go over this real quick. The Tier 4 spellbook power.
We must protect Middle-earth.
So Finarfin, he has a leadership. Oh god, these guys are moving. Okay.
Justice shall be done.
Don't know where they're going. Anyway,
I stand for the light.
so all units near Finarfin gain fear resistance, fear and knockback resistance.
Our homes must
And
be
then
defended. I'm here to help. For honor. Watch for the enemy. Settle. I stand
okay,
for the
and then this is a wizard blast called White Blast, and then these are very strong units. They have a lot of health. Yeah, they have a lot of health, 1260, and then they deal a lot of damage. They're
I'm here to help.
what you would expect from a summoned first stage elven unit.
It's the ring. Keep your wits sharp.
Okay, now let's get on to Melian, and then we'll go over the Silmaril heroes. Okay, need hero slots. So Melian has 2 Palanters. She has a leadership. So allied heroes around her heal 200% faster. She also reduces the cost of heroes by 50%. Allied infantry cavalry near Melian gain 50% resistance to hero and heroic range damage. That's very, very strong. They also gain immunity to flame damage, and she reflects 50% of slash, specialist, crush, hero, Uruk, and Uruk damage. So specific damage types she'll just reflect back at enemies, kind of like Tarmairon and Morgoth do, and those units will end up like harming themselves. Alright, so she summons a tree, special tree. So the tree has, what's it? 5 passives. So for this, this is a well, heals units or heals allies. Enemy units near the tree will be poisoned. Units near the tree will gain armor. Units near the tree will gain damage, and your units near the tree will gain experience faster. So very good. This is really similar to Celeborn's ability. So she kind of enemies in this area are like lit on fire and they take a lot of damage. Allies are healed, and they also gain 20% armor and immunity to fear and terror. This is kind of a cool ability. So Melian will paralyze all enemies. It's actually one of the few abilities that works on other of the Vala. So you can use this against Morgoth and it'll stun him. It'll also... So allied units and heroes around here also recharge their abilities faster. Or 50% faster.
Something moves in the shadows.
For this ability, it's called Lemma Spread. Not really Lemma Spread. So she gives basically a gift to a hero. This is best used on a hero like Galadriel or Legolas, where they gain speed buff and permanent speed buff and additional recharge reduction on their abilities. This is an incredibly strong ability. This is kind of like Radagast, but it doesn't deal damage. So units within this radius lose 95% speed and 50% damage. This ability grows a forest. It'll take a while for the forest to grow, and then her last ability is called the Girdle of Melian. So it summons a dome. It's supposed to like show, but basically nothing can leave the dome and nothing can enter the dome. So you can kind of make your units, you can kind of like trap enemies, save your units, and then I think you can shoot through the dome. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Melian's a very strong Maya, I guess is the we should be proper in saying. Very strong Maya. She's not very good at killing bases like some of the others, but when you have when you stun their army and you have all these upgraded elite units, you don't really need to be like a base killing hero. And then this forest, a little bit about it. It will grow over time. It'll function similar to just like any tree, where your units will just become stealthed.
But every day it grows.
Alright, now let's get to the Silmaril.
Take them this way.
Hopefully it doesn't crash the game.
Rally together, Lancers. Onward.
So, as
Three were given to the elves.
Lothlorien, you have two Silmaril heroes, Galadriel and Radagast. We'll go over Radagast first.
Back to the fortress. Riders.
Because he is pretty much the same. I think he gains like one new ability.
Did not pass the borders of this land.
Es sind nicht unsere Fähigkeiten, die zeigen, wer wir wirklich sind, sondern unsere Entscheidungen.
This way, archers.
Just send those guys to the bottom of the map. Okay, so Radagast the Silmaril, same passive. He gains this new ability where he summons a tree. It's it's a little stronger than Melian's tree actually. It gains. Okay, so it has 5 passive abilities. So nearby allies are healed, nearby allies are stealthed. Friendly units and buildings in a wide radius are immune to fire, magic, and poison damage. It immediately puts out all fires, and it stuns enemies at regular intervals that are near the tree. And then it has a bunch of summons. You can summon bees to attack units, kind of like Grimbjorn. You can summon birds. This is just like Radagast summon, I believe. Do these debuff? We'll see. You can summon... Oop, wrong tree. You can summon bears. That was really loud. You can summon eagles. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, the eagle is recruitable. Okay. So the ravens that you summon actually debuff enemies. Great. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Radagast in his Silmaril form. Not great, but this tree is cool, and yeah.
Where are you going?
That's pretty much it for Radagast. All right, now we have Galadriel. So with Galadriel, you get a choice. you can accept the Silmaril, and she'll become the Dark Queen, gain new abilities. You can reject the Silmaril, and then you gain access to... She'll summon Frodo. You can recruit Sam, so you'll have even more heroes. And she'll get more support abilities. When she rejects the Silmaril, she becomes a support hero. When she becomes when she accepts Silmaril, she becomes like a base killer, DPS based hero. So we'll reject the Silmaril, so we can get all these heroes. There's Frodo. We can recruit Sam. Frodo's pretty cool. He's got like 3 different Palantirs. Oh no, he gets 2 different Palantirs. Oh, it has. I guess that makes it 3 though, because there's this one, and then there's the other one, and then this one. Let's. Okay. Let's send them over here. We'll go over Galadriel though on the way. She is very similar to how she is in her base form, so she still has the same fortress reveal ability. This leadership is the same, except she also provides magic immunity, so that's very strong against like another Lothlorien or Imladris, and like other magic based abilities. She still gets the Palantir switch. The Ring of Nenya is the same, but it's unlocked at level 3. At level 10, she gets... It's kind of like how her other level 10 works, where she becomes a Dark Queen, except she just uses stronger magic. She uses just stronger magic attacks and gains 300% armor. Very cool. I should use this near enemies actually.
There's still hope.
Will you look into the mirror? You knew. Amelie.
This is a new ability, so nearby enemies are paralyzed for 15 seconds. This includes heroes. Trolls are turned to stone, and enemy heroes also suffer a lot of damage. This ability is the same. The Light of Arendelle, this ability is also the same. And then this ability is, instead of 20 seconds, it's for 40 seconds. Also, just to note, when she accepts the, regardless of which, if she accepts or rejects the Silmaril, I don't believe she can take. Yeah, she cannot get the gift of Lothlorien.
Some boys will not fail you. I must keep it safe.
Yeah. So let me just use these real quick.
You are not alone.
Okay.
The ring has been dropped.
For the world is
Pretty good.
There is still
Alright, Frodo. So, he can switch, like all hobbits, he can switch between throwing rocks and using his sword. He can use the One Ring to make him invisible, kind of like in vanilla, and then I think sometimes the Eye of Sauron reveals him.
ring is dangerous, but I must
He
use
becomes invisible here.
Keep up.
For this Palantir, this is just like some passives. So if he's near Frodo, Sam, Merry, or Pippin, they each grant each other 50% damage. So he's near Sam, he grants him 50% damage.
Don't let Mr. Frodo down.
Level 4 he uses Sting. Sting does more damage, and it shines blue when orcs are nearby. Level 5 he gains Mithril armor, so he gains an armor upgrade, and then he can actually receive the the gift to Lothlorien. That's how you unlock Galadriel's file.
It's in danger. Let us hurry.
And then I think this just causes units to flee in terror.
The lady will bring us light.
Yeah, just causes units to flee in terror.
Over here.
And then the power of the One Ring Palantir. So he provides 20% bonus to all attributes. That means armor, damage, knockback, resistance, you name it. Fear resistant to fear and terror. 25% to everything. And it's to all units. And then this is a self buff. He gains 1000% armor, 50% damage, 50% attack speed for 30 seconds, but he damages nearby allies. And then he also debuffs. His attacks damage allies. He makes enemy units afraid, and his attacks debuff all nearby heroes.
Der Ring gehört mir.
They don't seem very afraid. This ability we'll go over later. Let's summon another hero, Gollum. So Gollum has a choice system. Actually, let's go over Sam real quick. So you can switch between rocks and his sword. He gets a cloak. He can swing his frying pan at an enemy. It does a little bit of damage. He has a Palantir switch. He gets the same bonus as Frodo when he's near him, Merry, and Pippin. Actually, no. Sam grants him 50% armor. Okay, so it's a little different. At level 4, he gains a weapon upgrade. It deals minor magic damage and deals fire damage to undead enemies. So I guess that means Nazgul and Whites. For Frodo, he temporarily gains 200 double damage and 50% armor.
Lass ihn los, du Scheusal.
At level 10. Oh no, it just requires gifts of Lothlorien. He can actually just he has the wine dresser ability, or he can summon the build plot. Okay. That's Sam. Gollum, so there's a choice system. I'm gonna be honest, I've rarely used this, so I don't know if these abilities all work, but basically you can choose to be a villain or be a good guy. So for this ability, he becomes camouflaged, can't attack, and can't be attacked. For this, he's disguised and is only discovered if he attacks, and then when he's revealed, he'll move faster. And then for this part, for this selection, by the way, you have to level him up to unlock this. So selection Faithful Guide. So all nearby heroes are temporarily disguised, and if they do not attack, they move faster. Or you can pick Greed for the Ring. He receives enormous attack damage and deals AoE. I think it does damage to allies too. And then for this, you can choose Oath of Allegiance, or you can choose a Liar, Thief, and a Murderer. So for this one, if he's near a specific hero, Gollum or Smeagol receives 25% armor damage. For this one, he can use this on enemy hero. That hero loses 50% speed for a minute and has 0 vision. So I think that means they can't really attack anything. And then for the last selection, for this ability, he permanently reveals a part of the map, even if nothing is there. For this one, Gollum disguises allies. They're invulnerable and they move faster, but they lose 75% damage and their own vision is reduced to 0. So they can't see anything. I'm not really sure how that works with attack, but it's cool. Like, this is a very interesting and unique hero design.
It's the ring. Get it quick.
Okay, and then lastly, his level 10, he can choose to. You can choose between two things. You can choose to be a good guy, and he tries to resist being evil, I guess, and resist the power of the ring or the Silmaril. And so you get a 50% chance that he goes off on his own, and then his abilities are deactivated, and then he gets double armor as long as Gollum is gone. Okay, and then okay, so he drives Gollum from himself, so he won't be a bad guy, and then Smeagol will get the bonuses as long as Gollum is gone. And then there's a 50% chance that Golem overwhelms Smeagol, takes control. His abilities are disabled and he gets double damage, and his abilities recharge twice as fast. Or you can choose to just be a bad guy, and then Shelob will spawn in, attack everything.
We survived because of me.
We'll just activate these abilities, see what happens.
Wring his filthy little neck. Come away. Hurry, this way.
Okay, what about this ability? Can I not use it?
They will see us.
Okay, I can.
They're thieves. They're thieves.
Doesn't show his attack for some reason. Oh, I just noticed that the picture is switching, so he's Golem right now. Alright, let's see what happens when we activate this.
Master's my friend.
The ring has been dropped.
They knows. They suspects us.
So he's Golem right now. I guess he can one-tap all these guys?
Patience. Precious.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Alright, well. Now we'll just go. Alright, we're gonna restart. We're gonna go over Galadriel with if she accepts the Silmaril, because you get a few other unique bonuses, and she becomes pretty cool. And then that'll be it for Lothlorien. To Lothlorien. So we're gonna accept the Silmaril. Alright. Alright, so first thing, your buildings are gonna be surrounded by this like dark mist. And I believe the mist debuffs enemies. Actually, I forgot. I should look before. Okay, so now you get this ability. So the Sacred Tree damages enemy units in the area with the upgrade. And I'm pretty sure it debuffs the buildings by default debuff enemies when you accept the Silmaril.
Something moves in the
So when you become the Dark Lady, Galadriel debuffs all units, including allies. So she will debuff your own allies or your own units. She gains her Fear ability, which is the same as I showed last when she toggles into the Dark Lady. There's a Planter switch. This is a pretty strong ability. For 50 per second, all nearby enemy units and heroes lose 100% damage. So their attack literally goes to 0 and they lose resistance to fear and terror. This is a word of power. That's pretty cool. The effects on that is really sick. This is a single target range attack, I believe. Or no, I think it's like a lightning strike, actually. Yep. It's a lightning strike. That's kind of underwhelming. So she still has the Ring of Nenya, but now instead of healing units and debuffing enemies, it kind of acts like a waterfall, like a mini Tears of the Valor. Oh. This is an Earthquake. And then for her last ability, she gets Tornado. Yep. She gets Tornado, and then the last thing that we're going to go over in this video on Lothlorien is that when Galadriel accepts the Ceremony, Celeborn actually gets kind of a unique set of abilities. We're going to level them up first, though. Okay, so now that Gladys looks up the ring, Caliborn gets some new powers. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Alright, so he gets some new abilities. When you activate one of these, it actually will re-trigger the planter, so... This is the coolest ability, though. It's like the other ability, the Gift to Silver, or the other Power Soul, but like way stronger.
Enemy knows you have entered. What hope you had in secrecy is now gone. It is perfect help shield you from unfriendly eyes.
That knocks down everything. Like, these units are supposed to be immune to knockback, and it's still just pulling them. Alright. Oh, the abilities are on cooldown. I mean, okay. So this is really similar to his, like, mini little wizard blast. Yep. Okay, so that's a debuff, and they are also feared. Oh, and it keeps triggering too. Okay. Or nope. It does keep triggering. Alright. So he's just running around constantly debuffing enemies. And then I just want to show off the last power. I think it's just like an even stronger Wizard Blast, if I remember correctly.
We have built a new barracks. We've expanded the barracks. Our fair city grows larger. We've expanded the barracks. The barracks have been completed. We've expanded the barracks.
Alright, last ability of this video, and we will head off after that. So that's actually a Wizard Blast. That actually, like, killed units. Alright, well, that's it for Lothlorien, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I plan on finishing up the rest of the factions in the future, and then, depending on feedback and gauging interest, we'll see where we go from there. Happy New Year. Hope you all guys have a good one. I'll see you later, guys, and peace out. Thank you so much for watching.